Hello, hello. We should be live right now. Hello and welcome to our inaugural Horasis Young Visionaries panel. My name is Jontja Braakman and I will be your moderator for the coming hour and a half. We had to split the session into two parts. So if you want to stay on for both parts, you'll have to switch over with me to part two after 45 minutes. This session was supposed to be a first real-life reception in Cascais at the end of March at the global Horasis meeting. But I hope some of you have poured yourselves a drink and we can host a cozy virtual reception together right now. Please chime in the comments if you have any ideas. We probably won't have time for Q&A, but this is only the first session of which I'm sure many will follow. So who am I? I am the founder of Impact Shakers, which is an impact entrepreneurship ecosystem. It consists of a startup studio in which we work with impact startups one-on-one. We have an online community and we have online courses. And all of this is aimed at bridging the gap between impact and profit and making entrepreneurship more diverse. Today in this session, we will get to explore some of the first ideas for Horasis Young Visionaries community and maybe even fellowship. In order to do this, we have invited a number of very enthusiastic and engaged, mission-driven entrepreneurs and young leaders, and I would love for you to get to know them. And we'll kick off with an introductory round. Abhilasha, would you like to start?
Sure. Okay, so hello everyone. First of all, thank you for inviting me, Dr. Richter and Horasis community. So my name is Abhilasha Bhatia. I'm the founder and CEO of the Creators Dev Hub. It's a technology solutions consulting and development firm. And we have a mission to drive the advancement of technology forward, mainly among small businesses. And we also envision a world where humans are inspired by and delve themselves into creative pursuits. Currently, we conduct many educational webinars on different software as a service solutions for different small enterprises to medium-sized enterprises. And yeah, I'm looking forward to engaging in further discussion.
Thank you, Abhilasha. Ashish, would you like to continue?
Yes, namaste everyone. I'm Ashish Chauhan. I'm here in Delhi, actually based out of Mumbai. I'm National Organizing Secretary of Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. That's a students' organization. We are working as among students as students' rights group, and we are passionate about education policy, youth, and the present pandemic has given us a unique opportunity to delve upon how the employment, other issues will be dealt with in coming days. So it's part education policy, parts about employment we are working upon right now. In the longer run, it's deliberation upon how we are working for students' cause, how we are taking them through the social issues, and working for the national life. That is particularly we are passionate about in ABVP. Particularly, I would like to thank you for this wonderful discussion. And Dr. Richter had actually proposed this beautiful plan. And obviously, we would like to engage with this discussion further. Thank you.
Thank you. Anya?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Anya Sharan, and I currently live in New Delhi, India. Currently, I serve as a customer success and marketing manager at Metric Stream, which is a governance, risk, and compliance technology leader. And I also serve as a director of Aura Inc. Prior to this, I worked in the enterprise risk management consulting space at Deloitte in New York. Prior to which I was at NYU Stern School of Business for Finance and Accounting, and I'm very excited to be here. Thanks.
Helen, take the mic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Helen Lukundo Chonjo. I'm joining from Tanzania. I am the founder and managing partner at Matra Justice. It is an insurance claims management firm, and we work to create solutions for the insurance industry in Tanzania, particularly working with underprivileged individuals, making sure that they get their compensation. Those who maybe by reason of poverty or lack of education cannot fund or make their claims on their own, so we come in to assist. I'm also passionate about education and social change, and so I am an educator, and I'm also a social entrepreneur, a friend of a lot of for-profit and social impact businesses here in Africa, energy and other spaces. I'm happy to be here and happy to contribute.
Very cool. Thank you. Sheraz?
Of course. So I'm English born, Swiss raised with Indian, Pakistani, and Kenyan ancestry. My passion for business first took me to Lancaster University and the Universidad Pontificia Comillas to study a 4-year dual Bachelor of Business Administration with honors. And it was there that I really found my passion for innovation within one of the largest and fastest industries in the world that is really coming up now, which is blockchain technology. So I first started off by doing research, which first then moved on to investment and then asset management. But my real leap into the world of digital assets came with my role as marketing lead of Smart Valor, so a Swiss-based blockchain startup set to build a decentralized marketplace for tokenized alternative investments, whereby currently I'm an advisor to Jur, a leading tech startup pursuing the vision of creating a decentralized legal ecosystem, and to Yoke Network, a revolutionary influencer-driven marketing platform. And so additionally, now I drive growth and collaboration across the global blockchain economy through my role as head of business development at the Crypto Valley Association. Furthermore, I'm persistent on educating world leaders and global audiences on the future of blockchain technology via executive personalized courses at renowned venues such as the University of Geneva, and also here today. However, what I'd like to further discuss during this panel involves my role as Chief Operating Officer of Katarina, a revolutionary medical software that facilitates the lives of all that interact within the healthcare ecosystem. So thanks to the sheer, let's say, brilliance and hard work over the past 2.5 years of our team, Katarina is now able to offer more medical time to health professionals, closer patient follow-up, and better clinical decision-making. So our core aim is to put you, the patient, at the center of your own health, because your health can never be too important, all right? And especially within the current times we're facing. So, well, all in all, my involvement in these activities mean that I don't get so much sleep, but I believe that a life worth living is one that is dreamt wide awake. So I'm very happy to be here to discuss all of these issues with you.
Thank you very much, Sheraz. Marco, please share some of your...
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Yoncha. Firstly, I apologize, guys, for the blurry screen. I'm having some technical issues here in the Philippines and using a laptop, I think, from the previous century. So I hope you can hear me better than you can see me. So yeah, I'm joining you from the Philippines, where I have a non-for-profit organization that started about 8 years ago. We initially started with play-based education, targeting those that are marginalized, vulnerable, or otherwise outside of quality education. And we've been doing that, working with the Ministry of Education for a number of years. But I would say in the last 3 months, we've pivoted somewhat to becoming now a humanitarian organization responding with relief efforts and helping families that have been now locked down for more than 100 days in the Philippines. So yeah, excited to be here and hopefully looking forward to creating a virtual ruckus with some other change makers.
Thank you, Marco. Will you mute yourself? because there is some, background noise. And then I would like to start with you, Anya, with the question, what do you believe could be the strongest assets the Horasis community has to offer for Horasis Young Visionaries? Because you know the network quite well, so please share with us your ideas.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So I think it's extraordinary that we've got such a great group together today. So many individuals passionate about so many different causes with, diverse experiences all over the world. And I think all of us are just getting together and we want to make an impact on the world. We want to question the way things are done. We want to move forward. We want to contribute, and at the same time, learn and grow as well. So I think, we're all here with this common intent. And I really believe that Horasis is a great platform to do that. Being involved with it for the last couple of years, I think one of the strongest and one of the best things that I've seen about Horasis is, its members who are, of course, knowledgeable and world leaders and, business leaders, etc., are very close to the Horasis community. So I've noticed that, members who tend to attend the events every year tend to come back. They tend to stay connected, throughout the year. So that provides a really close-knit and intimate network, which I think would be great for us, to leverage and to learn from, to build mentorships with, to collaborate with them on projects. The network is also really diverse and wide. So we also have the opportunity to actually connect on different verticals based on both our interest, our skills. We can align ourselves in areas where we want to grow. We can collaborate on projects where we think we can actually provide, our skills, but also learn. And then, also get great opportunities in various organizations. So I think, definitely the mentorship angle and the ability to collaborate on different projects is probably going to be invaluable. The other thing that I think is also something which is great about Horasis, and has consistently been so, is that, the network is not only focused on one country or one region like India, but there's different meetings, the China meeting, the Asia meeting, the global meeting. There's so many meetings across the world. And I think that's great because we have access then, to networks and resources and opportunities all over the world, where we can, not only contribute in the regions that we're present in, but, make connections and, learn from each other like we are today on the panel. And then also, from so many networks and so many leaders all over the world. So I really think that these are, some of the key ways in which Horasis can certainly help us, and we can certainly be a part of it. And it's just a great community to be a part of.
That sounds so exciting. Marco, do you want to pick in on that?
Sure. So can you still hear background noise? Is it really interfering with the microphone?
It is pretty bad, but it goes up and down. Let's try. You're gonna try to change then.
Wait. Is it better?
It might be.
Can you hear it still?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's better when you put your microphone in.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Keep talking.
Okay. Guys, I'm having personal crisis here with my technology, so forgive me. I'm in a remote part of the Philippines. Just to follow on, I think, yes, I agree. I agree completely. I've been part of the Horasis network for the last number of years. I think the physical meetings are a great space where people have really the freedom to express innovative, disruptive ideas. So I think up until now, it's a network that I've certainly enjoyed and benefited from, especially as there's obviously a very experienced cohort of business leaders. And for us, I think, some of those people are are perhaps people that we look up to, companies that we want to work with. So I think it's an exciting network to be part of, and I would say that as much as we can benefit from that existing network, I think the young leaders has just as much to offer, if not more, given what's happening in the world. I think this is a very, this whole pandemic has exposed a lot of fault lines in the current systems. And I think in the past, existing leaders have used our naivety and our youthful recklessness to kind of dismiss some of these disruptive ideas. So I think, and I hope really, that we have a lot of confidence by what is going on. And if I can say that the mess that's happening all over the world by elected leaders and business leaders who are not exactly coming up with any workable solutions. So I think there's a great urgency for young people to really take charge of this crisis and really have a lot more confidence in proposing new ideas, because we're seeing for a very long time in the industry I'm in that existing solutions are not actually solving some of these ills that we're seeing, whether it's social inequality, poverty, racial tension that's happening now in America. I think it's just a perfect opportunity for young people to really, I wouldn't just say make change, but really come together. I think that's what I would like to see in this network, really a coordination of young people working towards a common goal. I think sometimes we're very driven by our own personal visions, and sometimes that can be a detriment because we have our own tunnel visions. So if we can somehow coalesce all this energy and come together for a united vision, I think there's a lot of potential we have to offer.
Thank you, Marco. I wanted to ask you, Abhilasha, who or what has helped you the most in advancing your mission so far?
Sure. So reflecting back on my education career and now this entrepreneurship journey, I feel like there are multiple facets, definitely. And I have come to where I am by definitely standing on the shoulders of giants. Those giants have been my family, who has been really supportive during my upbringing. I kind of felt by the way, I am tuning in from Toronto, Canada. So I kind of after seeing all of these, after doing my higher education in US and working across US and Canada, I kind of feel my upbringing was very much in a conservative environment. But I think one thing was very constant back in India also was that there was a culture of progressive thoughts, and education was always the focus. So definitely my family was a crucial element in my mission and throughout this journey. And then the mentors that I've had the opportunity to work with, they have been in the form of senior software engineers, they have been in the form of my managers, and they have all given me really valuable knowledge nuggets, which I have been able to implement throughout this journey. And then the community. As we are reflecting on this, how can the younger generation be catalyst for change? I would really like to advise whoever is tuning in among even if you have kids who are in the college education, I would really want to give this particular advice is to connect yourselves with communities. Those communities can be associated with any hobbies, with your career development, or with a social service or a social cause. But the importance of communities would be that you will be able to share knowledge and resources. You would be able to form connections that would help you down the road. And also it will help you in not really feeling isolated. You would feel connected to a particular cause. And that would actually bring you together in your future journey. You can always take some or the other thing from the communities that you've been associated with. And one of the other advice that I would want to give to the parents who are tuning in now or who would be watching this particular video streaming is that I know times are hard. These are COVID times, and whatever socioeconomic background you have, try to create an environment of psychological safety for your children, because that definitely encourages, that gives them and basically a site to be hopeful, and if you have that environment of hope, you can actually encourage, and children can actually thrive with positive thinking, which is a very key element in building grit and henceforward in like taking initiatives and that leadership approach. So yeah, it has been basically, my family, the mentors, and the communities that I've been associated with.
Thank you. Those are some beautiful words. And did you have a particular project in mind that would be great to collaborate on?
Sure. So I have been basically researching about grassroots entrepreneurship and specifically in emerging markets. So, for example, there was a community in Tanzania who actually built a 3D printer out of e-waste, and they are commercializing it now. And then in India, like back in my hometown of Kanpur, there were two engineers who actually came together to recycle, basically upcycle the flower waste. And in India, flower waste is a lot because we use it in temples a lot and in like many different ceremonies. So they basically brought together a strategy of upcycling it, and they have successfully transferred it into like incense sticks. And they're even making some biodegradable thermocol material and leather going forward. So one of the projects that I would want the Horasis community to come together is to encourage and boost local entrepreneurship, because when local entrepreneurship will be boosted, it would be like it's a chain reaction. And what they are doing is that they are also employing the locals. It can be in the form of migrant workers who are coming for opportunities, even for the jobs that don't really require high education or that don't really require much skill. So, for example, the entrepreneurs that I'm mentioning about from my hometown, they are actually employing women from low socioeconomic background. They are training them to sort those flowers out and do these different operations. And then they're also making sure that their health and so they are provided for their health insurance and other necessities that don't really in any other operations you won't like in any other specific jobs that they would do, they won't really be getting these particular perks over there, right? So specifically, people who are coming out with ingenious ideas and who also have a vision to drive it forward with sustainability in mind. One of my requests from the Horasis community would be to, like, I can, my role in that would be to basically see how can technology help and bridge that gap, because now everyone has smartphones, everyone has technologies to support and connect with each other. So if there is a way to connect and boost local entrepreneurship and to connect these local entrepreneurs even across boundaries for knowledge and resources, that would be something I would be really looking forward to participating in the process.
Okay, thank you very much. Ashish, could you tell us what you're most passionate about and why, and how this network could help you advance your mission?
Thank you, Yoncha. Particularly, I have mentioned it is education and youth, which I'm really passionate about. And as far as I would like to divide this into two halves. I do have a fine experience with professional fellows by Department of State in the US, where we have this unique opportunity to work with, collaborate with fellows from all across the globe. I would like to actually see, this is my first time with Horasis, and I'm very hopeful, and I've interacted with you and Dr. Victor and some of the fellows here in Mumbai, and particularly it will be engaging with like-minded people who are working in youth domain, or they are working in education domain, and sharing ideas, policy points, and how they are working with society there in their countries. Obviously, when it comes to India, it has to be that scale. It has to be either China, it has to be either Indonesia, Brazil, US, these countries of scale per se, where we would like to see what kind of changes are being done. So one part is that I would like to interact with this set of community, and Horasis for that matter is a wonderful opportunity for me, as well as people who are working in an organization, to interact with these finest people who are studying, who are working, who are researching upon these things, or working with society in this grassroots level. Secondly, as far as India's education and policy domain is concerned, we see this unique opportunity which is talked about India's potential for 21st century, because we have a uh, like demographic dividend, and the average age is like 29, 30, whereas China is 37, Japan is 47, and many of the European countries are in late 40s and 50s. Particularly, if we want to tap into this talent, it has to be the higher education. It has to be education right from the school level to the higher education, skilling, which is being propagated by the present government in a big way. But the task at hand is enormous. I was listening to one of the presentation of then the founder or the first minister for skilling in 2014. He said he has a task to train 500 billion people. That's huge. 50 crore people you want to train. So particularly education domain comes in picture. We don't have a system like US where you have community colleges, but we have colleges. Those are 40,000 colleges here in India. We have 990 universities. We have 11,000 standalone institutes. Those standalone institutes are the very institute which actually train people into technology or all these sorts of things. So there was this committee called the Knowledge Commission, which said in 2007 that we need 1,500 university. At present, if I have to dwell upon this idea, the present national education policy, which was tabled last year, draft national education policy to 2019, it actually speaks about how these institutions are to be upgraded into a bigger scale. I would like to give you one small fact. If I may ask my fellow panelists, which is the country which has biggest higher education network in the world? So straight away we will think it's China. We might think it's US. In terms of most number of higher education institutes in the world, it is India. We have 62,000 higher education institutes. As far as baccalaureates, that is 10 plus 2, 12. That is 1,12,000 institutions. If you put all these together, it goes 1,65,000 institutes above the standard 10, or that many institutions are here. And when we see in comparison, China comes second and US comes third. But when you put in perspective how many graduates, how many PhDs we produce, we go in a third number, because in India, per higher education institute, we train only 650 students in one higher education institute. What we are propagating in our organization, which I am really passionate about, is we should increase the minimum number of students studying in a higher education institute. There was a research done by Professor Morris of IIM Ahmedabad. He particularly said that we can increase our strength because we are working in a limited capacity in terms of how many students, how many people can train within an institution. There is a university which has the area I'll be speaking in acres. So it is 2,700 acres, and they have two students. Like the ratio is so enormously miscalculated that in terms of University of Columbia, where they have 15,000 plus students within a small space. We are not utilizing our like infrastructure, like land mass, and it has to be done. And in coming times, all these things are to be utilized for taking these facilities onto a newer level. That's why the national education policy speaks about putting up a bar of minimum 2,000 students in a higher education institute that they are calling colleges. And in coming days, probably these colleges will get that autonomy and they will be able to award degrees. But I personally, I'm passionate or speak about cluster universities. So it has to be these final colleges should come together. They should make up a university, and by virtue of which these 40,000 colleges could uh, club together into making a more number of university. Though it won't limit at 1,500 right now, it might go above. But we don't need more number of colleges. We would like to integrate our systems. I come from north of India, but I stay in Mumbai. Some of the finest institutes are only 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers in South Mumbai. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, one of the finest physics and mathematics institutes, is there. And there is a law institute, uh, government law college. There's one of the finest humanities college, St. Xavier's. There's a management college, JBIMS, which is there. There is a finest management commerce colleges. So what we want to propose is there is a earlier integration, and in coming days it has to go forward further. This is how we are interacting with policymakers, talking to academicians, and in coming days, I would like to have ideas from Horasis community, people who are working in academic field in these beautiful places across the globe. So this is it from my side. I'm really passionate about, and you can get all these from my passionate point. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashish. I have a quick question for you.
Yeah,
Do you have contacts at the national policy level then, or is this, for example, something?
yeah. We
Yeah.
we present our during this pandemic itself. We have written to the Prime Minister. We have written to the Minister of HRD. It's been three like letters. We have presented our opinion, and in coming days, obviously, we would be writing upon all these issues. And with my organization, I'm very much active in these policy domain. Whenever we feel that these are the things we want to speak up to the educationists or policy organization, whether it is the university systems here in India.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. We'll get to you, Helen. What did I want to ask you? A very similar question. What are you most passionate about and why? And who has helped you advance your mission the most?
Okay. Well, as far as passion is concerned, I'm most passionate about service and support for human advancement. So I am, in a way, I would say I'm passionate about people. And then I'm passionate about service and support because I feel that that is what is most needed in order to advance. Coming from a continent such as Africa, resources is really not much of a problem because we are blessed with quite a lot. However, it is our mindset that needs transformation, and that's what I believe in. And so service, when I say service and support, it is in form of information, in form of knowledge and connections, actually to change mindsets, to let our people know what they don't know. Because I believe if someone knows something differently, they act differently. And sometimes our lack of advancement or slow progression is because of poor access to information, poor access to knowledge, poor access to connections. And so, yes, in a nutshell, for me, it is service and support at the core, and people wrapped all around it. It is people, and more specifically youth. I believe in youth because they are the ones that carrying the flag and that will advance our continent and our world for the future. And Yeah, that would answer the first question to begin with. And you asked me the second question, advancing my mission so far and what has helped me. Again, it is the same thing. It's people, in terms of individual people, communities, and networks. Starting from home, where my parents were a support system. And it is, again, the information they gave me, the knowledge they gave me, the connections I have had that made my dreams and my dreams of helping other people come true in terms of connections and networks. I would say it boils down to school connections and goes all the way up to opportunities that you have as a business and as an individual. Last year, I got a chance to go to a fellowship, Mandela Washington Fellowship. It's a US based. And out of that came a network from 20 African countries where there were different fellows. And because of that, in a span of what is less than a year now, I have been able to advance my cause so much further just because I have a network of people who now we can work together and collaborate. Because again, one thing that I'm big on is collaboration. I feel that is the new innovation. And so it boils down to people. It boils down to support and service in people in forms of individuals and in people in forms of networks, people in form of communities, and further just people who are willing to go the extra mile. So, yeah.
Quick follow-up question. You said you got the chance to collaborate with these people from more than 20 countries. Could you give an example on how you collaborated?
Okay. So coming back from the fellowship, I tapped into the educator part of me. And so I started a company called Bora International with the goal of advancing youth. Again, with those three pillars, knowledge, information, and connections. And so I'm working with fellows from Kenya right now to be able to roll out programs for career preparation and youth advancement. And I am also serving as a strategist as well to some of the other businesses, again, in Kenya and in Zimbabwe. All that in light of pushing things forward. I found that we were like-minded, and so we just put the cause together and it became bigger. So instead of individual people doing nuggets, it's now bigger because we get to roll the same idea in different countries, and our challenges are the same, and so it is just faster. Something that I couldn't do over the years, I was able to do.
And you froze. That's really sad. And now you left. But that was a really exciting explanation. So Helen collaborated on a concrete project. And then I would like to ask you, Sheraz, what is your mission and what has helped you the most so far? We heard of it. Choose one.
Yeah. So what is my mission? I think that's a great question. And defining your mission is hard. Dedicating your life to a sole purpose at a young age is not something to take lightly, especially in the world in which we live in today, right? I mean, where there's an abundance of information at one's fingertips, we must spend the appropriate amount of time to understand all we can before determining our trajectory. I mean, there's also another valid option within this. And it's the path that I've chosen subconsciously to follow over the years, is to define a core set of fundamentals, ethics and morals, which you stand by fully, and let your cleared vision guide you towards your mission, which could be something you discover 5, 10, 20, 50 years down the line when you realize, wow, that was it. That was my purpose of being, my mission. And I think luck or karma has a lot to play in our lives, whereby, in my opinion, if you stubbornly try to define your future in a planned, calculated way without the open-mindedness of change, you're bound to fail. Maybe not in terms of your end goal or mission in this case, but in terms of what that objective was supposed to ultimately bring you. I mean, personally, for example, I don't believe that I would have found my passion for the trifecta of finance, technology, and healthcare if I had set myself the mission to do so before starting university. I had no real predetermined objectives other than absorbing my surroundings and learning as much as I could from them and intrinsically then about myself, in addition to letting my curiosity get the best of me at times. And I believe that today's society is too focused on achieving individual missions, hitting that next milestone, regardless of the impact it may have. For us to grow together in a post-COVID-19 world, we need to come together in terms of the change we want to make, instead of letting it divide us. And so we as so-called young visionaries have a crucial role to play in this, whereby we are responsible for the impact of the change to come. And we can help define the paths society takes, be it towards a more digitized future that still enables high levels of social interconnectivity, or one that prioritizes creativity in our day-to-day lives. So as I look towards what has helped me the most advancing towards my potential mission throughout the years, it would not be what, more like who, a collective of whos. It has been fundamentally been the people around me that gave way to the inspiration that I have today of doing my part in creating a better world. That is not to say that all these people put in the long hours for me, but we as social beings need to collaborate together. Our impact is greater together than apart. So in my opinion, there's a reason that there are two I's in mission. They are not limited to one person. We should share common goals to help each other brighten the future ahead. The world would be such an awesome place if we ultimately made it our mission, not my mission.
That was awesome, Sheraz. Really, I'm so happy to begin with that I got to know all of you a bit. I feel very privileged, and already this is one of the things Horasis has brought us, and I look forward to continuing the discussion with all of you on these subjects, and I will check in with you again after this to make sure that I get your ideas right, because there were so many beautiful ideas in here, and I would like to share them with the world afterwards as well. And I hope to see you in the next panel, to which I will be moving on right now. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Thank you.